So, good morning. I want to do something a little bit different today, and I want to share my screen. It's something that I don't do very often, but I do want to share my screen. I am recording this at 20 past 12 Spanish time, and I want to share my screen because there's a story going around at the moment. There's loads of video footage that, as you can see with this, Eric Dier, the Tottenham player, the midfielder, who I thought was actually man of the match for Tottenham, as they crashed out last night. It's mad. He's literally jumping in the crowd. The stewards going everywhere. Jose Mourinho's had his say on this. Now, Tottenham lost on penalties. There's loads of different reports and rumours going around about this. Look, you can see probably from that one better that he literally jumps in the crowd. He starts going and having it with someone. And the stewards come along. Look, you can see him hobbling up over the seats. And by the time he gets there, he's then confronted with a load of people, and then the stewards jump in and surround him. Now, there's conflicting stories on this. He's not happy. Something's triggered him. Now, there's conflicting stories on this. I'm going to play the clip from Jose Mourinho in a minute. But like I said, there is conflicting stories on this. One story is that I'm going to play this in a minute. One story is that Gedson Fernandez, one of their players, they signed him in January in the transfer window, was racially assaulted. And let me plug my charger in. Schoolboy error, Jesus Christ. And Gedson Fernandez was apparently racially assaulted, and that's why he took exception to that. Now, the other story, which I would go with, I wasn't there, I don't know. I'm going to play you Jose's little interview afterwards, in the press conference afterwards, the post-match press conference. And this has kind of spoiled the celebrations from Norwich. So I'm going to come to that in a minute. But the other story is that obviously it's near the tunnel. It's not necessarily Tottenham fans that sit in that part of the stadium. And Eric Dier's brother was apparently in the crowd, and he took exception to something that some of the fans were saying around him. He's alerted his brother to that, and then his brother's hurdled the chairs at the stadium, the seats at the stadium, and he's gone to confront the guy or the guys or girls that were giving it the abuse. Now, I don't know. Listen, like I said, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I'll let you guys make your own mind up. I'm sure that it will come out at some point, but I want to take it all the way back to Jose's press conference.
I don't know. I just know that the reaction of Eric was based on his brother didn't like what was happening there, but I cannot.
So Eric's brother was in the stand next to this fan?
Yeah.
I don't know why that's not played the whole thing. Let's go all the way back. Ow, electric shock. We don't like that. Let's go all the way back.
They were with the team until the last penalty kick that we miss. The people that is in these privileged positions in this area of the tunnel, of course some are Tottenham fans, but I think a lot of corporation, a lot of invitation, a lot of people with some special status, and probably is the place of the stadium where I have sometimes doubts that if they are the real Tottenham fan bloods, because these ones were the ones that support the boys until the last one. This person insulted Eric. The family was there. The young brother was not happy with the situation, and then Eric, I repeat, did what we professionals we cannot do, but did something that probably do.
Jamie. Jose, there have been allegations on social media that the fan Eric Dier confronted was racially abusing Gedson Fernandez, and Eric was defending Gedson. Is that not the case?
I cannot say. I don't know. I just know that the reaction of Eric was based on his brother didn't like what was happening there, but I cannot.
So Eric's brother was in the stand next to this fan?
Yeah.
There you go. From the horse's mouth. From the horse's mouth. And listen, you don't see a player jump in the crowd very often. You don't see a player jump in the crowd and go and confront a fan. So it must have been something that was triggering. Obviously, you know, emotions are high. Tottenham had just lost. They've gone out of the cup, and Norwich. Listen, I watched the game. I did a live watch along for the game. Tottenham scored, and Jan Vertonghen scored a bullet header. What a finish! What a finish! And they were in control, but they never kicked on Tottenham. And the longer the game went, the more I felt that the longer the game went, the more they're going to let Norwich back into this game, which they fully did. And Norwich took their chance. It went all the way to penalties in the end. And yeah, it was just poor. The penalties were poor. Norwich did better on penalties. VAR didn't want to step in and intervene on penalties, even though goalkeepers were off their line as before the ball was struck. Make of that what you will. But yeah, it's kind of random that that a player has been triggered that much that he's gone and jumped in the crowd to try and confront somebody, because you don't see that happen at all, really. In fact, when was the last time that happened? I see Paul Pogba last season at Man United at Old Trafford. He had a little bit of a dig at fans that were giving him abuse. And that you don't really see it. I mean, the most infamous one was Eric Cantona back in the day when he'd done a kung fu kick, and he fully got a ban for about 8-9 months, whatever it was. But you don't really see it. And it'd be interesting to see whether Eric Dier does get a ban for doing what he'd done. Obviously, he snapped. He's seen the red mist. It's come across his face, and he's just gone for it. And I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Obviously, Jose's confirmed that it was something to do with Eric Dier's brother. He was in the crowd. There was something going on. We don't know the gist of it. He was asked about the racism thing towards Gedson Fernandez. He said he don't know. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see the full ins and outs of this, because a player would not necessarily normally snap to the point where they're hurdling over seats to go and get to somebody. Obviously, in the end, the stewards got there, calmed the situation down, and Eric Dier went back in the dressing room. But something seriously has happened there. I hope and pray it has nothing to do with racism, because, listen, we're in 2020. It's not all about that life. That should have been left time ago. Surely it's not racism. Jose, like I said, he doesn't know whether it was. But the way he answered that question, he dismissed it real quick. So does that mean it is, and he didn't want to open up a can of worms? I don't know. But the fact that Eric Dier's brother's in the crowd, stirring the pot, mixing it all up. How did he get the message to Eric Dier, who's miles away down there, by the way, and he's right up there? How did that message come across? Why is he hurdling seats before any stewards are even in sight? How has that happened? How have so many people filmed this before a steward's even in sight? Again, how has that happened? At the end of the day, it kind of overshadows Norwich's performance. You know, like I said, first half, Tottenham, if they'd got out of second gear, probably would have battered them. They didn't get out of second gear, and Norwich overall probably did deserve to fucking win. Let's be real. They did deserve to win. And yeah, sad scenes. Let's just wrap up with the draw. Arsenal are away to Sheffield United. Please don't let us down. We've already lost to Sheffield United once away this season. Don't make it again. We're 1 foot away from Wembley for a semi-final. So please don't do that. Please, please, please. Newcastle, they got Manchester City. Manchester City won 1-0 Aguero. They got Manchester City at Newcastle at St James's Park. Norwich, their performance tonight, they've got a draw against either Derby County, which I will do a watch along for tonight. So keep your eyes peeled for that, or Manchester United. And then Leicester, they got through, and their draw is against Chelsea at the King Power Stadium. So listen, it's getting down to the latter stages of the cup now. You start believing, you start dreaming. You're one step away from a semi at Wembley. And come on, do not let us down. You're 3 steps away from winning it. So come on, Arsenal. We're the FA Cup kings. Leave it in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on the Eric Dier situation. I'd love to know what you guys think, especially if you're a Tottenham fan as well. Listen, I enjoyed doing that watch along tonight. Tottenham fully deserve what they got. And yeah, it's kind of sad to see the game tarred with that at the end of it. But listen, let me know your thoughts on it. Don't forget, also, I will be back later this evening, 5 o'clock stream, Arsenal related as always, and I'll be doing the Derby watch along. So make sure you come back later on today. Subscribe if you're new, stick a like on the video, and I am out of here. Have a happy Thursday. Couldn't get my words out. Laters, peeps.